Good day everybody, and welcome to another video. This is your personal funky sim pilot. My name is Arkady Gidzenko and I will be your captain for today's flight. Today's flight will take us again to the PMDG 737-800. This will be the fourth flight in total and on the channel with the 737-800. We'll thank the Norwegian Air Shuttle livery for a flight from Warsaw, Poland to Oslo, Gardermoen in Norway. We're looking at an en route flight time of about 2 hours. We're cruising at 37,000 feet or something. We're using real world time, real world weather, GSX and the Aerosoft simple traffic tool. So let's just hop on in. Right, so we're parked here at one of the gates with the Norwegian Air Shuttle livery. The ground power unit has been connected, and so is the jetway. And that's pretty much it. So we'll have to start the boarding process soon, because we are carrying 130 passengers today. Right, so let's hop on in. Before we start the boarding, let's at least get some power going and we align the IRS. We'll turn on ground power as well. And there's some panel lights. And logo lights and anti-collision lights. Alright, so with GSX menu, we can now select request boarding.
Boarding requested.
It's an interesting livery. Check mail, play games, chat, update your status, build unused chair. So they got wireless internet on board. Poke Friends is quite an old livery, I guess.
Do you want to board crew?
I'd like to board both, please.
Boarding starting.
Thank you. Let's request the flight plan. And departure weather. Warsaw will have wind coming from 310 at 30 knots. 23 degrees, and QNH is 1013.
Crew boarding starting.
Actually, the aircraft is trying to figure out where it currently is. It will take a couple of minutes until it's fully aligned to its inertial reference system. We'll just go and set up some work lights. We have something to work with. Right, so to set up the FMC, with our aircraft 737-800, pause on it. Echo Papa Whiskey Alpha, if I'm not mistaken. Echo Papa Whiskey Alpha. Now the gate is 18. And that is recognized, that's very nice. So we request for flight plan. Reserve fuel 2.2, block fuel 7.2. Crossing X26, cruising 380. Wind 013038. Block fuel 7.2, final reserves 2.1, 2.2. So we can accept these. Set payload, set fuel, and select route.
Passengers boarding starting.
Here we see the passengers boarding our plane. reload our route. And we activate, execute. Check our legs page. And then for the departure and arrival, our departing runway 29er, the OLILA 6 Golf departure. 29er OLILA 6 Golf. We'll do the same for the arrival runway. We got the LUNIP for Lima, 01 right. ILS 01 right. LUNIP for Lima. No transition, or we have Insul or Valpo. SABAK. No, so we can just execute. And now we should have the entire route. We got 6 stages. And then the route goes discontinuity there on final. So the cost index 26, I believe, yeah. So fuel 7.2. Reserve fuel 2.2. Cost index 26. Cruising altitude 380. Come on. Then we had wind 013 at 38. Transition altitude 6,500. That's probably the case. Let's just have a look. Transition altitude 6,500. We can accept, execute. 10-1 limit. Performance tool. Runway 29er. Runway condition dry. 013. Calculate. Takeoff 1, 45 degrees. Should give us 90.5. Giving us 91.3. Takeoff flaps 5. Trim 5.54, V1 137, rotate 138, V2 143. Flaps 5. Trim 5.54. Runway length remaining 91. I don't think we can enter the 3 speeds yet. Oh, looks like we can. Oh, let's do it then. So that's actually is the setup for the FMC. Passengers are at 20. We got 20 passengers out of 130. And they will require it as per RMP. I hope that's not going to give us any problem. Unfortunately, we cannot see the passengers inside with the aircraft. You can see them walking in, but that's it. yaw damper on. We should have our fuel 7.2. Let's strap in the passengers. We'll be cruising at 38,000. QNH1013. 360 is the airport elevation here, so we'll start putting that in 350. Well, the passengers are still boarding, but I think we can start the APU now. Let's open up the fuel pumps. So the EGT should start rising any moment now. Right, so while everyone is still loading, we are going to have a look at our arrival and the arrival weather. So arrival runway 01 right. We get the charts for 01 right approach, 01 left, 01 right, ILS localizer, this is the one, put the pin there. So first of all, the arrival. We have the LUNIP for LUNIP arrival, so we'll be coming from the south, from LUNIP. DEFCO, Golf Mike 416. Let's see, this taking us to the initial approach fix INSU. If we look at the flight plan on the legs page, taking us to INSU, and then there's probably like vectors, and then comes Oslo. So to see if we can align those two, go from INSU, Oslo will probably be here somewhere. So we'll have a look. Sometimes you will also see the initial approach fix on the final approach chart, just like we can see here, and this looks perfectly nice. Oslo, so we can just connect these two, and that will be the end of that, pretty much. So no extra tricks that we have to pull. Oslo, execute. To see this, we can go to the plan page. And here you see, from INSU, we connected it with Oslo, and that should do it for us. I always do like to have a bunch of range rings. Always at least one where the glide slope will start to take us down at XMN. At 8.9 nautical miles from ONE, so from the ILS, or from the localizer. So 8.9, so let's say, I don't think we can put in decimals, or maybe we can in the 737-800. Now to find the reciprocal when you are a lazy head calculator like I am, 0 on the right. So that would be heading 192. So why do we use 192 for the fix? Because we want to have a runway extended center line, so that means it's not going in the direction of the runway, but the opposite direction, so it will be drawn towards us. So for that we go runway 01 right, go to the fix page if I can find it. Then our heading 192. So this is coming to us when we are on final approach. And let's see, what was the distance, 8.9 or was it 8.9? Let's see if we can put in the decimal, I don't think so. There you go, 8.9. You see, at right there in the extent we have this circle. And we have this green dotted line, the extended runway center line. If we zoom out a little bit more and get some better idea. And then what we'll also do is do the same, but then for 50 nautical miles, just for sort of, I don't know, situational awareness, if you will. So again, 1902, and this time the distance will be 15. Then once we arrive, we'll have some sort of idea where we are, how fast things are going to follow up and everything. And this should be fine for us. So we can just leave it like that. Let's also have a look at our departure. So we have the OLILA 6 Golf departure out of runway 29. That will take us to OLILA right there. So after departure, 289 degrees, and then right turn, that be 308? No, that will be 308. Right, so it's a right turn. I think we'll manage. Alright. Let's see if we can find this on the navigation display as well. And that looks okay. Ingras looks sort of like the same shape, you know, as you can see. And then there is no other discontinuities we can check. Everything is connected to each other. There's no gaps. There's vectors, but this is in case of a go around. So that's all set up. So for the fuel pumps, let's see. We have nothing in the center tanks, so we do not need the center fuel pumps there. APU is running. EGT is at 400 degrees. It's stable. We can turn on the APU bleed. And that way we can start cooling the cabin. Now for the setup of the mode control panel. Let's turn on the flight director and the auto thrust. So usually there will be an initial altitude. We're not flying online, so we're just going straight to our cruising altitude, 38,000. And the runway heading, I'm guessing that was the 289 that we saw here. Let's just double check. (288). Alright, so that's set up. We can arm the VNAV and the lateral navigation as well. Auto thrust ready too. We still have passengers boarding. I believe the baggage handlers are finished. We have 68 out of 130 passengers. I'm noticing something I haven't seen in a couple of days, that you can actually see the number right here again. For a couple of flights it wouldn't show it in here for some reason, I don't know why. But good to see that that's back, so then we can keep track of the current status. Alright, so the central pedestal Let's give ourselves squawk code 31. 21. This one also has the old school style, so maybe let's see if we can change that. The passengers are still boarding anyway. So we go turn manual, PMDG setup, aircraft. I believe it's under equipment. These are the callouts, ETOPS, FMS options. Let's also do eyebrow windows, I like that. Cutoff switch style, these are old, let's put them at new. Then you see you get these round buttons or switches. If we change back to the old ones, then you got these classical style. Let's go for the new ones, just because we can. Window shades, yeah sure, why not? And displays. Fuel total display. This was the one actually that I was looking for earlier. I'm not sure why it is in this option. It is, or here it's actually an option, and in the other flight it wasn't. It's the same aircraft, just different livery. Well, so this is what I mean. Like you have the total fuel in 3 tanks. If you say no, then you just get it like this. So let's, there you go. Alright, I'm done here. See what the boarding is doing. I think we should be almost ready. 108 out of 130. So you can see the passengers still boarding there. We close this door here, the left half. Door management. So the door is closing, and then will the air stairs actually depart. Well, sir. Hey, Fodwe, how are you doing? Yoke, joystick or controller? I'm playing with on PC and I'm playing with Xbox 360 PC controller. Right, so the door is closed. The gentleman's just still in its place there. Yeah, it was weird. On the other hand, I do not have very much experience with joysticks. Otherwise, actually, I guess I would just go for joystick. And a friend of mine once brought actual rudder pedals and everything. But my setup at home is not really suited for that. so that wasn't really a great success. But it was very weird to steer with your feet. Yeah, but the controllers have been getting used to it quite well by now. Right, so what's the boarding doing? They should be pretty much finished now. 122 out of 130 passengers, so we're definitely going somewhere. Right, so let's go back to the map view. Let's turn on traffic. Then, as soon as the passengers have boarded, we can request push and start. We can also disconnect the ground power unit. We are running, we have the APUs. Let's start using that now. And we turn off ground power up here. And let's see, ground connections, ground power release. Frank wants to start Microsoft Flight Simulator. Hey, that's so cool, man. What should he know? Well, just watch a whole bunch of videos, and depends on what he wants to do, I guess. And make sure that the system can run it. I think that's the most important thing, right? Just to state something obvious, but, you know, I might be missing some context there, but, yeah. At least make sure that your system can run it, and then you should ask yourself what do you want to do, you know? Alright, so boarding has completed, people. So let's see, we can remove chocks. And hopefully that will trigger everything to disconnect. Let's go GSX.
We need to set parking brakes.
Oh yes, we need to set the parking brakes. Parking brake set. And then prepare for pushback and departure. Well, thanks, man. You have a nice day too, Fodui. Thanks for saying hi. Alright, so runway 29 is one, so that will be fairly simple. We push back nose to the right, get ourselves onto Mike 3, get ourselves onto Echo 2, and it will take us all the way, Echo 4, to the runway. So push back nose to the right. So this guy is going to stick his head into the nose of our aircraft.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Thank you. So let's bring on the tug.
Locking gear.
Right, so that was push back nose to the right. And then we just arrived. It was right next to the runway. Let's set our trim. That was 5.54, I believe. Nose right, tail left.
Release parking brake release.
Parking brake release.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Thank you. Let's start with engine number 2. There we go, N2 coming. And fuel. Now let's see, the route in advance. Trim 5.54. Somewhere around there should do it. That's busy. Alright, here comes our turn, that's very good. And I guess we can set the auto brake to RTO for takeoff, and we'll have flaps 5. We have to verify the takeoff speed, so V1 137, rotate 138, V2 143. Takeoff speed's verified. And engine number 1 is on, number 2 is running, so let's now start up engine number 1. And that's for fuel.
Please set parking brakes.
Yes, sir. Parking brake set.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Right, so we're waiting for a good engine start. Derated takeoff 1, 45 degrees, 91.2. LSD click, the EGD will start dropping now, so we can confirm good engine start. And they will disconnect. Confirm good engine start.
We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Right, so we are now on APU. So let's now go to the main generators. And we can turn off the APU. We can also turn off the APU bleed. Let's turn on the packs. Well, this gentleman is now morphing with the nose of our aircraft again. But so wherever we go, we'll just drive straight out. Hopefully not through that easy jet over there.
Bypass bin removed.
Thank you.
Left is clear, right is clear.
Alright, so that means we can go. Let's quickly have a look at the chart. Echo 2. There it is. That's our bypass pin. Thank you, sir. We see you. Check. Bye. Thank you. Cool. That means we can go. On return of lights, taxi lights. Let's also turn on the no smoking sign. So a quick sanity check. So the packs are still on. The odometer is still with us. Hey man, fly below, how are you doing? We are flying to Oslo. We're now at Warsaw in Poland. Yeah, we're about to taxi to runway 29 for a flight to Oslo, Gardermoen International Airport. Okay, so I think everything should be okay, so let's release the parking brake and let's get going. Nice to meet you too, Fly by Law. Thank you so much for coming and saying hi and joining us for the flight. We're just here to have some fun. Do you play Infinite Flight? I don't know what you mean. If that's a game, no. But I might not understand your question, sorry. So, if there's any more information you could give me that could help me answer your question, sorry. So this is looking a little bit funny with that airplane there. We have to go straight. I'm guessing we'll just take a little left turn here. We're just going rogue for a little bit. I'm not sure if I understand what you mean, Fly by Law. Infinite Flight? Is that the title of the game? Or do you mean anything like Infinite Flight? Because if it's a game, I have I've never heard the title before. What we're playing now is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. So looking at the charts and looking at what we're seeing here, it looks a little bit funny. Look at that. But I'm sure we'll manage. So let's just quickly find this yellow line here. And I guess we should be okay. We got some incoming traffic there as well. Echo 1. So we overshot a little bit there. I think we're good now. Echo 2, there we are. Alright, so let's consider ourselves clear to line up. Let's just turn on the landing lights. And position to strobe and steady. Cabin crew, prepare for takeoff. Right, so here's our runway. So V1 137, rotate 138, P2 144, off the top of my head, 137, 138, 143. Let's also turn on the gas. And then we should be totally ready. Looks clear on the approach side. Whoops, that's a little bit slop. Easy there. Alright, so I think we're totally good to go. So let's start the timer. Laps time. And 50% on 1. I'll let you engines stabilize first. Then we'll set takeoff thrust. And let's get this baby going. That's not working, our thrust has been turned off. Do this again. Here we are, takeoff thrust set. Rotate. Gear up. So that's it. Sometimes you have a nice hazard. Norwegian Air Shuttle livery. Pretty cool stuff. Let's turn on the autopilot, CMD, and 1 LNAV VNAV speed. Flaps can go to 1. And turn off the runway turn-off lights and the taxi lights. Flaps up. And then the auto brake can go off again. And we'll lock the gear, and then the after takeoff checklist, which should be complete. So the engine bleeds to on, engine bleeds are at on, and the packs are at auto. Landing gear is up and off, flaps up, no lights. After takeoff checklist complete. So nice departure, immediately going to 250 knots. That's pretty cool. You don't have to fly at 220 or something, or 210. Let me just double check the charts. Max 200 knots, max 240, max 240. So I'm not really sure why it's saying 250 here then. But yeah, here we are. Nothing we can do about it. Position altitude was 6,500, so let's go to standard barometric pressure.
Traffic.
Alright. So expect to arrive 17:55 Zulu. That's about 90 minutes or so. At 8,600 feet. At some point when we reach 10,000, you will see the nose start to drop a little bit. We're now sitting at about a nose up position of about 10 degrees. And then at around 10,000 feet, usually we'll see the nose will start to drop a little bit. There we are, 10,000, the nose is dropping. Let's turn off the landing lights. And we can also set the passengers free. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking, on board flight 812 to Gardermoen, Oslo International Airport. Please feel free to walk around. You may turn off your, you may undo your seatbelt. Feel free to walk around the cabin. We expect to land at the Gardermoen Airport in approximately 90 minutes from now. If there's anything you need, then please don't hesitate to ask the cabin crew. They will attend to every your desire. On behalf of Norwegian Shuttle and the entire crew, thank you for your attention. Alright, so the crew, the cabin announcement's been out of the way, 12,000 feet. Flags wage on our way, in us we should be flight level 070 or above, and speed to 99, so we're perfectly on target here. Let's have a look outside. So departing from Poland, Warsaw. So this will be my fourth flight in the 737-800. I've had lots of flights in the 600 and 700. Recently I purchased the 800 and That's what we're flying now for the fourth time. Pretty much all the flights that I did with this aircraft were on stream on the channel. Alright, so where's our top of climb? At 100 nautical miles, flight level 380, 1634 Zulu. That will be in about 14 minutes. And we've already set up most of our approach as well while the boarding was in process. Took the time to set that up on the navigational display to see if the waypoints were matching up and everything. We set some range rings around the runway and some runway extended center line. As you can see right here. So we got some range rings, the extended center line is going this way. So if you zoom out, you'll be able to see the extended center line as well, the green dotted line. Whoops, that just chose to vanish. So yeah, that bit's pretty much all been set up already. But make it a little bit easier for us. Top of climb coming there in about 100 miles, 90, 95, what is it? 93 nautical miles. We're now 8 minutes into the flight, we're already at 18,000 feet. Now when we land, we're currently carrying 6.2 thousand kilograms of fuel. We expect to land with 3.1, half of what we have now. If we go to descent page, we can also get forecast for the descent wind, so let's do that. So requesting our descent wind. And we can enter those into the FMC as well. And sometimes that may affect the top of descent a little bit. It's always interesting to sort of monitor that and to see if you can see any difference. If we go to the descent page, we can see here to T/D, to top of descent, 1723. That will be the moment we start descending. That's the 433 nautical miles. 1723. So now if we load our descent wind, it might calculate the top of descent again. As you can see, it's emptied out for a second there. Let's execute. 1723, so that didn't really change anything. Sometimes it can maybe change by a minute or 2 minutes or something. And it's interesting to see at least already, how it ties in together, with each other. It's pretty cool. Alright, back to the legs page. This is one of the window views. I really like this little button, meters. And actually I'm realizing now, even before we actually reach the altitude, it will also translate 38,000 feet into meters, even when you're not actually at the altitude already. It does it here as well, but this is dynamic. It's interesting, I never really took notice of that, and I kind of like that. Maybe we can tell the passengers and then have some little weather report or something. So we'll look at the weather at our destination. Let's also see if this will help for our runway. So the wind will be 050 degrees at 6 knots. And I believe our runway is 01 right. 01 right. 050, 6 knots. 23 degrees, QNH 1020. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking with just a little update. We're currently climbing to our cruising altitude. For today will be 28,000 feet, which is approximately 11.5 kilometers. The weather at our arrival, we'll keep monitoring that. We'll have some weather report updates every now and then. At the moment, there's a mild breeze at the Gardermoen airport. It's 23 degrees, and there's not a lot of wind. And we expect a smooth landing. And if there's anything you need, please don't hesitate to ask the crew. Thank you for your attention. Alright, so that's what we can do with that. Let's turn that off. Right, 27,500 feet. On our way to relap, 8.5 nautical miles. That's why they call me. They call me the funky sim pilot. Is the pilot still funky? That's the question on everybody's lips. That's a little getaway. To go for on the gear G. Alright, let's put that thing away again. Alright, so where are we? 30,800 feet. Top of climb coming in about 40 miles. There we are. Let's have a look at what's all the text on the plane here. I must say I quite like this livery. Norwegian.com. So we have the Boeing 737-800. Search for new people. Why is that people with an S? Apply for college. Follow your dogs. Watch cute cat videos. Find marriage counselor. Pay bills. Order a new car. Browse for hotels. Share a new quiz score. Schedule a meeting. Poke your friends. Wireless internet on board. Get the latest news, bid on a used chair, update your status, learn about your destination, check email, play games, chat, check the weather, and learn a new language. Well, so there's plenty of information on the outside of the aircraft, so one would hope on the inside there's an equal amount of information available, especially since they're bragging about their Wi-Fi on board, which I must say is pretty cool, obviously. Check these details, man. I mean, that's just so cool. These things look small from afar, but when you're up close, they look actually quite big. Quite a lot. Big fan. Well, if this is what you're referring to, this is a huge fan. I do not want to be where we are right now. Let's go to end very dramatically. I've seen a video where an aircraft was taxiing on the apron, and there was a like a metal square garbage bin nearby, and that sucker was just devoured by the engine. It was insane, like it was a feather, really. It went in so extremely easily. I was really, well, not shocked. I mean, you never see it, so that's shocking, but if you think about it, it's logical, right? I mean, these two engines only are responsible for pushing this entire chunk of metal, you know? What are we, like 53,000 kilograms zero fuel weight or something? That's a lot of weight for just two engines, you know? Just imagine your fan at home, you know, just speeding it up and speeding it up and speeding it up, you know, until it starts pretty much moving your house. Well, let's get back inside because it's getting really loud for my ears. We're now 80 minutes into the flight. We're almost at our cruising altitude of 380. Our fuel flow currently 1.5 per engine, but we're doing 100.2 on the N1. Since we're still in climb, as you can see there as well, obviously we are still climbing. Once we reach cruising altitude, the engines will spool down a little, and we should have a more economic fuel flow. Right, so we're almost at cruise. And then 17:23. We'll start descending, that's 50 minutes. So it will not be a very long flight. You can have a look at the flight here as well. I'm not a very big fan of the zoom settings here in the EFB, I must say. I mean, overall, PMDG, the developer of this aircraft, are ridiculously superb. But I must say, this one feature I don't like very much. Like, it's just, you know, there's no zoom in between, you know. But yeah, that's the route. So we're going over to Sweden and then into Norway. Very straightforward. We should see our arrival actually as well. So in Sov, that's the one we saw. We connected with Oslo. Salmon, that's where the glide slope will start to take us down, and then there will be our runway. Interesting to look at this. Reminds me to always check once we land, where do we go? So for runway 01 right, it's obvious we will turn left. Alright, 38,000 feet. So the engines are no longer at 100, but they're spooling down. Fuel flow is now 1,000 kilograms of fuel per engine per hour, as opposed to 1.4, I believe, that we had per engine. So it's already a big difference. Current fuel 5.3. Now we just keep on monitoring the weather at our destination, so that we'll be able to set the correct QNH, and we have some idea what the winds will be. So this weather report was issued at 15:50 Zulu. Time is now 16:36. So there was also one at 16:20. So we have 2 hourly updates, or actually half-hourly updates, I guess, every 30 minutes. Wind currently 040 degrees, 8 knots. 23, QNH 1020. And there's already the end of the flight. We can zoom to 640 in the 737-800. And that extended runway center line that we drew is actually on the chart. It goes indefinite. So if you could sort of like click your mouse in here and drag and drag and drag, you know, this would just go on forever. That's a pretty funny idea. So on the way to LARMA, 105 nautical miles to go there. In about 45 minutes we'll start descending. So we'll keep monitoring the weather. We're currently 1020 for the QNH. We could set at least that for now. 1020, this is just pre-dialing it. What we can also do, in the meantime, we'll look at our landing data. So we are supposed to land at runway 01 right, at Oslo, Norway, Echo, November, Golf, Mike, Gardermoen. Runway 01 right, to the localizer, Oscar, November, Echo. This is the runway identifier, 111.905. 111.905. Just double check I did that correctly. 111.905. And we'll put it in. Final approach course 012. 012. Put that in on the captain's side and the first officer's side. 012. So that's all sitting there looking pretty and waiting to be used. I think I like my new 737-800. But I must say, I'm glad I purchased it at a discount. Because I already bought so many products by PMDG, man. They should give me like a regular discount. But instead of its regular price, 75, I was able to purchase for 45 euros. And I figured, you know, a little bit of retail therapy during turbulent times never hurt nobody. And that's when I decided to go ahead and purchase the sucker. And that's why I'm flying it now. This is the 4th time I'm flying it in my entire life. At least in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I used to fly the 737-800 all the time in FSX, but you cannot compare that. By then, around that time, I never used payware or anything. My brother Anatoly, he actually used some PMDG aircraft back then, I remember. But I myself only got really interested in it once I purchased Flight Simulator 2020 in 2021, I believe it was. Or maybe end of 2020. Alright, so I'm just going to run off to the galley for a quick minute. So in the meantime, let's enjoy a little window view, and I will be back before you can say blueberry pie. Alright, so here we are again. I'll hop on back to the flight deck, see if everything's still working. I just need to get my mouse to work properly. CMD, FMC speed down at VNAV flat. Still at 38,000 feet. Couple descent, 275 miles. At 17:24, 1 minute later than earlier. We're now 31 minutes into the flight. So in about 35 minutes we'll start descending. So the last weather report was at 1620, so I believe 1650 will be the new weather report. This was issued 1620 on the 17th of the month. So where are we now? So just leaving Poland. You see, that's what I mean. It's like these jumps, when you zoom in and out, they're like so randomly big. Excuse me. The system's looking okay. We've got 4.9 thousand kilograms of fuel. Fuel flow is still around 1,000 kilograms per engine per hour. And the touchdown is 1 hour and 9 minutes from now. Flying here at 38,000 feet, and no one knows where we're going. Borderline personality disorder Airline. Leave it to us, put in some love, and we'll make sure we'll shatter everything for you. We will leave no piece untouched. That's enough of that, man. You ever got my goddamn mother fucking ass? You know what I mean? Ah, fucking hell. Alright. 38,000 feet. Yeah, man, I don't know what can I tell you. What is up next? LARMA, SABAK Center, LUNIP. So top of descent in about 30 minutes from now. 7823. And what we'll do again, we'll try a flaps 30 landing. Or try, it's actually a habit that I want to get into. When it's not too hot and not too windy, I think we should use a flaps 30 landing. I always used to do flaps 40, but then, as you know, I do some, after every stream, I upload a landing replay video with multiple camera angles usually. And then I got a reply, a comment from one of the videos of a guy who was giving me quite a long answer, quite a long comment about because this was an unstable approach. So that's one of my videos called Unstable Approach, but I don't know where it is. And this guy replied, and he sent quite a long message. It was really sweet, really kind. With some very useful tips about how to land properly, and he said, well, you shouldn't have landed with flaps 40. Flaps 30 is more common for the 737 family. And I never thought about it until his comments. So I looked up a little bit of information and so concluded, okay, so basically we actually need to land at flaps 30, which is more common. So your landing speed will be a little bit higher as well. If you look at the inner rest page, you will see there's a couple of options that you can choose for landing. You're now saying approach rest, okay. We have the runway that we're going to land on, 10 right. We have the course, 012, and we have the ILS frequency and everything. But it also gives you an option to choose which flap setting, because you have to tell the airplane, you have to tell the FMC, and it will give you a readout here in the primary flight display. So for instance, if we choose to land with flaps 30, at this moment, at this weight that we currently have, with 4.8 thousand kilograms of fuel still carrying with us, it will give us a speed of 142 knots at flaps 30. And then just press here at flap/speed to enter that. Once you enter that, you will see it here on the left lower corner of the primary flight display, ref speed, flaps 30, speed 142. And then there's wind correction, plus 5 knots, so it'll be 147. If you go to the next page, to your to the final waypoints, Zeeman and runway 01 right, you will see as well 147 in there. Totally lost my train of thought. So I used to go for flaps 40 and then have a lower speed, fly at a lower speed, because I was thinking, that's probably a little bit safer, it's more like the chicken version. But apparently there's certain types of situations where you would use flaps 40, for instance, when it's really warm outside. So like yesterday we flew from Portugal to Djibouti in Africa. When we landed in Djibouti, it was 43 degrees. So, and that was with a 777F, not with the 737-800, but the principle is still the same. So there actually we had to choose the highest flap setting because of the air being so warm there and expanded that you would just need more drag basically on final approach. But for normal operations, the temperature I believe was 23 degrees at Gardermoen at the moment. Let's actually see if there's an update. No, not yet. So 23 degrees, that's not crazy hot or anything. So I guess we're safe at 30 degrees. But this will end up with a slightly higher final approach speed then. But it is how it is. So these small things sometimes can be really interesting. Like this random guy watched the video and left a comment. And I very much appreciate that, that's really useful stuff. It's nice, and we're here to have some fun, and if we can learn something, that's even better, Mostly we're just here to have some fun, right? I mean, just flying around, or flying high, flying low, whatever. So yeah, so that's there's also there's always things to learn. And a lot of these things are just pretty much on autopilot, just by doing it by repetition. But at the same time, it's interesting sometimes to find out what's actually the reason behind what the hell I'm doing all the time. It's not like I'm just totally copying and doing, try to understand, making a bigger picture, but at the same time I'm not sitting down with a book and pen and paper and just to sit and study it. I do have a life besides this, And but it's always nice to learn a little bit, and every now and then there will be sort of an expedited moment, if you will, where you pick up a little bit more information than you would usually do. And those moments are cool, and you should embrace those, which is what I do, or what I try at least. And there we are. Right, so 16:54, so top of descent is in 30 minutes from now. At 16:50, there should have been issued a new weather report, but since this is PMDG, we do not get the weather report immediately for some reason. There's some delay on it. So 16:20, let's refresh. It's actually here already at 5 minutes after it was issued. Wind 040, 8 knots, varying from 010 degrees to 070 degrees. Cavalcade 23 degrees, QNH 1020. So the QNH is still the same, I think. That was 1020, we have already pre-dialed it there. So what will change is our weight. So we are currently still carrying 4.6 thousand kilograms. If we go to the inner draft page, we set flaps 30, 142. You can see that right there. But this number might go down by 1 or maybe 2 knots once we're actually losing more and more weight due to our us burning the fuel. So we cannot set this and just forget about it. We'll have to know when to set this, I guess. And yeah, you know, rather than just set it and then just blindly follow it, because it's a dynamic system. You know, it's not static. If I'm not mistaken, that would be Sweden right there. There you go. Look at Denmark, Sweden, and then Norway. So the moment we start descending, I will have to start recording the sky dollies. I can create a landing replay video after the stream. I hit 100 subscribers, I can see. That's cool, man. I don't know who the number 100 was, but thanks to everybody, and obviously also thanks to the 100th subscriber. It's sort of a milestone for me. I'm a small channel, as you know. So 100 subscribers, like a couple of months ago, like 2 months ago, we were still at 30 or something. And we've been growing quite exponentially lately. So yes, that's very much appreciated. 100, very cute milestone. And I know it's you know, it's still what I said. It's still a small channel, you know. That I am just a simple dude sitting here at home in my little PJs, you know, playing my little flight simulator and just having some fun. So thank you very, very much for the support. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Alright, 1658. So if we start descending 1723, we will then have one more weather report, probably around 1725 or something, which is okay. We can work with that. Top of descent is right there at our next waypoint, SABAK. Alright, let's put the thing away again. Maybe one day I'll just plug in my drum computer, get my bass guitar, and we just get real fucking funky in here, man. Right, we've made it to Sweden for now. Here we are. And we'll be descending in 23 minutes. And our landing 1754, that's in 54 minutes. We'll touch down runway 01 right. So after touchdown we will vacate the runway to the left. Let's have a look at the actual airport. Not a chart, but just look on the map. The map is a lot more clear actually, I must say, than those charts. So 01 right, we'll land here. We'll probably vacate around here or here. We'll vacate to the left, there's no other option. Then we have a main east apron, TRV terminal, so that's civil, I would think. So what is it, also like military then? Engine test site, this is pretty cool, there's a military apron right there. General aviation, fire station. Yeah, so we can just go to the civil terminal. So we'll just vacate to the left and we'll just probably see a huge terminal with lots of airplanes. And we'll just settle down somewhere at a clear spot. But it's always good to, sometimes when the runway might be in the middle, and then you land, you're like, oh shit, do I have to go left or right, you know? You don't want to be sitting on the runway. You know, in our case, we're not flying online, we're just flying totally by ourselves with some NPCs, if you will. But nonetheless, for when you actually start flying, for instance, on Vatsen, you do not want to land and then just sit there idle on the runway. You want to keep things smooth, keep it rolling, land, get out of the way, you know, vacate the runway, and then see where you have to go next. And then usually you will get like a clearance for a, you know, just like a taxi clearance, taxi to gate blah blah, follow this and this, these and these taxiway. Just do that. But then it's good to have oriented yourself a little bit up front, you know. But so even though we're just flying offline, I always try to have the sort of habit to sort of try and prepare to see like what's ahead, so I can anticipate early, rather than all of a sudden be overwhelmed. Because sometimes a lot of things might be happening at once, and especially when you're flying online, a whole lot of things might be happening at once, you know. Because it can sometimes be a little bit overwhelming. These people speak very fast. They know all the little waypoints that you might never have heard in your entire life. You know, if you don't go over all the legs in the waypoint out loud for yourself before you fly, so you actually say out loud SABAK, Zenta, Regma, LUNIP. Because if some guy or girl, you know, says all of a sudden, hey man, go directly into, you're like, what the hell are you just saying, you know? But once you read it a couple of times, excuse me, you will sort of have prepared your brain. You prepared some sort of pockets of information. I know I need a whole bunch of words to explain some really simple concepts. I'm a very simple man with an extremely complex psychology, what can I say? At least I'm not a borderline personality disorder like my partner. Or I guess ex-partner, I don't know what the hell she wants, but there's always worse. You know what I mean. Alright, so 20 minutes until our descent. And the last landing, that was this morning in South Africa. And all the landings that I've made with the 737-800, this will be the fourth, I tended to over-flare a little bit. And I could see on the replay videos, when I flared, my nose went up really fast. Yeah, so I have to get used to this airplane. So maybe this landing I will try to go a little bit slower with the nose up during the flare. And I've been floating a little bit with every landing. And this landing was the best this morning, but still I was floating a little bit. So it's interesting to thread the needle to get it down to a more precise performance, you know. And I'm not looking for like button landings. That's all okay, you know. It should just be within limits, and preferably within the touchdown zone, rather than you know, overshooting the touchdown zone but setting it down really gently, you know. When the aircraft can take a beating, you know, if you were flying the aircraft without passengers, that would be a totally different set of rules, because the aircraft can take a shitload of beating. You know, everything has its limits, right? But so if you land really too hard, you would have to have the gear inspected and everything, okay? But yeah, but the aircraft can take a lot more. But obviously, since you're providing a service for paying customers who are flying from A to B, you also pay for a certain amount of comfort, obviously, right? And you also don't want to send them on their vacation with post-traumatic stress disorder because you landed like a fucking maniac, you know what I mean? So yeah, so there's definitely some there is some technical leeway there that for the aircraft, but there is none for the passengers. So you want, obviously, you would like some sort of a button landing. But I must say personally, myself as a passenger in the aircraft, if my aircraft when I land is shaking like crazy during final approach and it slams down onto the runway, I'm the happiest guy in that airplane. Really, I'm the happiest fucking guy. To just sit there in your little seat. Let me just have a little seat view here. So you're sitting in your little seat, you know, and the aircraft is like shaking like crazy during the final approach, and everything is getting bigger and bigger outside and bigger and bigger. Man, that is just amazing, you know. And then when you slam down onto the runway, you really feel like, oh, damn, we're really going somewhere, you know. We really arrived somewhere. I don't know. I love it. It's an amazing feeling, really, and especially the bumpy ride. You know, once I flew to an airport, and on final approach, I was a passenger, and it was really windy. It was seriously windy, and the aircraft was like shaking all over, and people were nervous. That I was so in my element and so happy, you know. Yeah. So yeah. But basically, what I wanted to say then, you know, we can go for a button landing, but I prefer to just have a proper landing at the proper position and just try to do it as good as I can. And that will take a lot of landings. A lot of landings. And that's what we're doing right here and right now on the channel. I don't know how many live streams. It's a shitload. And I'm not stopping where I'm at. And yeah, that's just if you want to grow and you want to learn, you will have to learn by trial and error, you know. But cool, man, 100 subscribers. Thanks so much again. It's really cute. Thank you very much for that. That's really nice. Right, so we'll absolutely, definitely in Sweden now. And the descent will be in about 15 minutes. Time 17:08. And we have the 16:50 weather report, so there will not be any new weather report yet. No. We can check. So currently the VLAP speed was 142. Our fuel is down 4.1. It's now saying 141. So we had 142, and it is now, we have burned some fuel, lost some weight, and our speed will be 141. So we just updated 141. So that would give us 146 on the legs page for the last two waypoints. 146 and 146. So I'm guessing we're good. Excuse me. So at SABAK we should actually be at 352, so our top of descent, you can see it here as well, is slightly before reaching SABAK. Or SABAK, excuse me. But it's still 100 nautical miles to go. And it's 92 nautical miles to the top of descent, 1723. So it's 13 minutes. Then we'll set the sucker down in Norway, in Gardermoen Airport, Oslo. Yeah, we got the motherfucking curva, man. Let's turn on the weather radar for a bit. See if there's any turbulence elsewhere. Actually, for that we'll have to turn on weather, both weather and turbulence. But looks like everything is fine. Let's turn the sucker off again. We're now 59 minutes into the flight. Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. Just to go from a funky sim pilot to philosophizing sim pilot. Well, you know what they say, any good theory is resistant to be challenged, so go ahead and challenge that sucker, you know. 1 hour into the flight, time 17:14. So in 6 minutes the new weather report will be issued. If our VRF speed will drop more, it will drop only like 1 knot, so it would be 140 knots. I must say it felt a little bit weird, a little bit funny. The last flight from Johannesburg to Cape Town with Mango Airlines. We were flying the same aircraft, the 737-800, and I must say the aircraft had a bit of a challenge slowing down on the final approach. At some point I just went, okay, let's just skip the flaps in between and just go straight to flaps 30. I mean, we were at flaps 5 or 10 or something. I was trying to do it incrementally. But at some point it was like, we're getting way too close. So just went flaps 30 and the approach speed was fine, but the speed looked like, from this viewpoint, it just looked a little bit high, you know? Looked a little bit like a high speed. So probably something to get used to as well. So 1020 hectopascal for the QNH, and the weather report will be issued in 5 minutes, so we don't have to check now. So I think I'll just go play my piano for a little bit. Sometimes it's in the fingers, sometimes it's in the ass. What is that structure there below us? That? Is that like a racetrack or something? 1720. So the new weather report issued right now. It would be really cool if we immediately got it, but still sitting there at 1650. But this will be probably available in 5 minutes or so. Touchdown will be in about 35 minutes, more or less. At least the wind hasn't really changed, 0.08 knots. That's not too crazy. So with wind correction of 5 knots, or maybe, I'm not really sure how this works. Do we then add like another 3 knots or something? I'm sure there's more involved. Still sounds like it's on the left. Okay. Alright, so what else do you want to know? Same end, that's where the glide slope will start to take us down. That will be 8.9 nautical miles from Oscar November Echo, which is the runway identifier, or the ILS identifier, however you want to call it, at 3,500 feet. Airport elevation is 680. So I think we'll set it to 700 because it has increments of 50. So let's do that, 700 feet. We also need to put in the decision altitude. I'm never quite sure which one to take. I'm just gonna go for radio altitude 102. And maybe we're even category 3 alpha, I'm not really sure. Let's go 100, that should be fine. This is telling us something that's interesting. Reset the NBC altitude. Why? Anyway, we're going to put 3,500. That sounds like descent has started. So I guess that is why. So we're not descending yet. Doesn't look like it. So let's first do flight level change. And then we're going down. And then we switch over to VNAV. That should continue the descent. Yeah, so we were a little bit late entering 3,500 feet there. And then the radio altitude, or decision altitude, would be 100 feet radio altitude. Alright, so let's check the descent checklist. Pressurization should be at landing altitude. We did that, 700 feet. Check. Pre-call. Nothing going on. Clear, checked. Auto brake. We can set the auto brake to 1. Let me quickly check the airport. 1 should be more than enough. 9,678 feet. Landing data VRAF and minimums. So, give our minimums, 100. VRAF speed, 141. Let's quickly check to see if there's an update. Still 141. 111905. 012 degrees, and the QNH was 020. But the time is 17:25, so we might have a new update. And we do 0306 knots, 1020. So that's all okay. Approach briefing completed as well. Looks like we are high on the profile. Let's get our speed brakes out to get some drag. We have a vertical deviation of 422. You can see that here as well. Let's go to the descent page. 400 feet high. And extending the speed brakes should help. The speed brakes, as you can see here, they are extended. And you can see the vertical deviation is immediately decreasing, which is very good news for us. Right, so we're now on back on target again, back on profile. Speed brake retracted. CMD, arm, LNF, FINF pad. P268. Flight level 260. And 10 knots come out. 1727. Right, so maybe it's time to strap in our passengers. And a little cabin announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. As you may have noticed, we've started our descent to Gardermoen International Airport, Oslo, where we will be arriving in approximately 20 minutes from now. Please return to your seats and make sure that your seatbelts are securely fastened. We expect to arrive in about 20 minutes. The temperature at Oslo Airport will be at 23 degrees centigrade. We'll have some mild winds. We expect a very smooth landing. On behalf of Norwegian Air Shuttle and the entire crew, thank you for your attention. Alright, so we got the cabin announcement out of the way, passengers strapped in. $26,700. We're still nicely on the descent profile, so that's good news too. We have the setting sun on our left with us. Well, let's see if we can have a decent landing today again with the 737-800. So the descent checklist is complete. Let's get our little check thingy here. So then the approach checklist will be the altimeter. So we have the local QNH, which is 1020. But when do we switch over? That would be on the chart. Transition altitude 7,000 feet. So once we reach 7,000, we'll switch to local barometric pressure. Usually I believe at around 8,000, the STD that you see there will start flashing or turning yellow or amber, I think they call it officially, but with like these sunshades. And then you know, usually it's okay to just switch over. We're getting a little bit high in the profile there, 52, 54, it's increasing a little. So what I will do is immediately get the speed brakes out and just nip it in the buttocks. You know what I mean. So yeah, booty. You are called nothing but. And then our vertical deviation 22, 14, 11, and there we are, we're on target. Speed breaker retracted. Let's set the sucker down at Oslo Gardermoen airport. $90,800. So we have a Regma coming up 4 miles, LUNIP, Gidzenko, both like 416. Check the inlet rest speed, it's down to 140, so let's update immediately. 140 will be rest speed 145 with landing. 145 at the runway. Okay. Where the hell did my stream go? It's back. Okay. So turn to Gidzenko now. So we're a little bit low on the profile, but not too crazy. I am not going to intervene, 70,000 feet. So the transition altitude was 7,000. And we should land at 7055, that's around the same time we'll get the latest weather report, so we'll just continue with the current weather report then. Landing will be in 20 minutes. So I saw a video the other day where they I don't know, I believe it was Southwest Airlines in the United States. Not really sure, I believe it was Southwest. There was an airline pilot was reported by his colleagues because he smelled like alcohol. And he was about to, the boarding had just finished, and you know, they were just about to close the gate and the aircraft and to just start taxiing. And then the authorities came just in time to intercept him. They subjected him to a sobriety test, which he failed, and they took him into custody. You know, because obviously you're not going to fly an airplane while intoxicated. You know, that was interesting to see. I'm thinking about it because I've had a couple of glasses of red wine currently. Nothing too crazy yet, but yeah. Not to say that I'm advocating it or advertising it, you know. It's just always make sure that you do everything correctly, or sometimes doing something correctly is not doing it at all. But yeah, so that sort of made me think of, wow man, some people, you cannot do that, you know. That's so extremely irresponsible to fly. You know, this guy would have flown. He would just have flown. And he was denying as well, you know, he was denying everything. He said, no, last night I had like 3 or 4 beers or something, and he said I had like 10 hours of, I think he said he had like 10 hours of sleep, or maybe 8 hours, I believe he said 10. Yeah, but there was just too much alcohol in his blood, you know. He was smelling of alcohol. And he was trying to fly an airplane, you know, which is freaking insane, you know. My God. Cool, so we still have 100 subscribers. I'm just checking every now and then. Oh. Yeah, here we are again. Alright, 12,800 feet. We're nicely on the descent profile, speed 255. And in 9.3 nautical miles, our speed should be 220 or below. And we should be at flight level 110. So 110 we'll probably make. The speed I'm interested, I think I will just get our speed brakes out nonetheless. You can see our speed brakes right here. It does not seem to affect the vertical deviation really, so that's also good. What I wanted to affect is our absolute current speed. And that's definitely dropping now, but I think the aircraft is now also maybe doing something. Let's have a look. No, I'm not sure. Speed below 220 knots. We got 4.3 nautical miles to go. The speed brakes are still out. The airplane is still targeting 235, 234, 233, just slowly dialing back, or down, however you want to call it. Speed brakes retracted. See how she does on her own. 217, 218, so we're definitely below 220. But speed immediately picking up. No, I'm going to extend speed brakes again. Speed brake extended. We did not make our speed target there, 220 or below. We're still a little bit faster. Up next, same deal, 220 or below, flight level 110, 220 or below. It is now targeting 220 and we're at 110, so I think we can retract speed brake. So, speed brake retracted. Now we have a couple of waypoints, basically with the same constriction. 220 or below, flight level 110 for the next 3 waypoints. Golf Mike 417, Golf Mike 415, Golf Mike 414. Then we have into 5,000 or above, and then Northland. 11,000 feet. Time 17:41. You expect to touch down 17:55. It's in about 15 minutes. So basically we're now just holding at flight level 110 for, let's see, 12 knots come out or so. We do not have the EME on the runway yet. And we can start by turning on the APU. Turn it on, just wait a couple of seconds, and then you press start. And then the EGT will start arising, you can see it upward. Alright, so let's get this sucker down, man. Right, that's still the current weather. So get these out of the way for the landing. We do not want any obstructions. We're now 1 hour and 30 minutes into the flight. 3.3 thousand kilograms of fuel. Steep descent after Golf Mike 414. Okay. Well, I did not plan this, so why are you making this my problem? God fucking damn it. Alright. We'll see how this is going to go down. We still do not have the EME on the runway, but we're definitely getting a lot closer now. So the APU is running, EGT is stable. I don't think we need the APU bleed at the moment. We have the left pack and the right pack on auto. But it's on standby in case we need it. Right, so turning Golf Mike 414 and turning for Insu. We're at the flight level 5,000 or above, and it was just saying it's a steep descent. So let's see how this is going to go down. So it starts by us, by vertical deviation, putting us high initially, 32, 33 feet, but now it's still okay again. Although the speed has increased. So, speed brake retracted. Let's work this girl. That's how we do it. You know what I mean. We got the EME, 25 nautical miles from the airport. 10,000 feet, let's turn on the landing lights. Actually also put the engine start switches to continuous relight. see how she's going to deal with this. We need to be 5,000 or above. I would love to be actually at 5,000. If we do this now, it will probably be a little bit late, but I'm going to do it nonetheless. Execute. So now we're telling the aircraft you have to be at 5,000 feet precisely. And now it's showing the deviation there, 250, 230, but it's because our speed brakes are out, you can see. It is definitely, it's immediately compensating, so that's good stuff. Our speed is definitely too high. We should be 220 or below, which we are not. So I think our company is going to get a fine. Then I'm going to have to talk to my boss and explain to her, you know, I'm so sorry, blah blah blah. I was drinking and you know, my girlfriend has a personality disorder that's undiagnosed and she's not open to change and all that miserable fucking crap, you know. And yeah, so let's have the speed brake extended there. And we just monitor. Standard coming up, look at that, it's in amber. Let's go to standard to local barometric pressure, and it will also give us an idea of how high we are. Look, so it immediately jumps to 190 feet high. So that's so it's good to, as soon as you can, switch over to local pressure. So we did that. So at least we have a solid readout, you know, like a so we can paint a solid picture of where we are. Speed still too high. Should be 220 or below. But it's definitely not making that at all. And that's what I heard about the 757-800, that it tends to be a little bit slippery. As somewhat of a challenge to slow down. It's a heavier airplane. Probably has the same speed brakes as the 737-600 and 700, which are lighter airplanes. But we're doing it. Let's look outside. So 15.2 nautical miles, and you can see by the arranging here as well. Now turning to Oslo. Let's turn on our localizer. So we arm the localizer. We just keep on descending. Still have the speed brakes out. Not sure if we should. But our speed's still okay, so let's just keep them out for a bit. And we're at 15 miles, so maybe we should turn on the runway turn-off lights and the taxi lights. Have a look at our landing checklist. Approach checklist has been completed. We are at the local pressure. Engine start switches, they are at continuous relight. Speed brake arms, we'll do this once we'll intercept on the localizer. Landing gear down, and then flaps 30, green light. Okay. So this is the top-down view. Oslo in 1 nautical mile, turning, and there we are. Localizer intercepted. I think we can retract the speed brake for now. But most likely should be, well, actually, Seaman 145. I think I'll keep the speed brake out for a bit. We're almost at the glide slope intercept. So let's arm the approach. Glide slope is armed. We're now at clean speed. Light slope intercepted or captured. That means let's go retract the speed brakes. We arm them. Go flap 1. Speed 183. 8.7. So let's drop the gear. It will give us a little bit more drag. Cabin crew, take your seats for landing. Flaps 2. Let's go flaps 5. And I think I might go flaps 15. Or that would be flaps 10. Flaps 10. Flap 15. So 145 will be the final approach speed. We're 5.5 nautical miles. Let's get some more drag. Flaps 25. Let's go final approach speed. Flaps 30. Go 145. We do have some wind, 13 knots. We're almost at 1,000 feet. So at around 1,000 feet we'll disengage the autopilot and we'll hand fire the rest of our approach. So we'll let the aircraft stabilize now. So we are at flaps 30. Speed in the window is 145. Actual speed is a little bit lower. So let's go a little bit higher speed, let's say 149.
1,000.
Right, so 1,000 feet. Autopilot off. And let's set this baby down. There's our runway. Go 145.
Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Continue.
50, 40, 30,
Fire.
20,
Idle.
10.
Touchdown. Nose gear touchdown. Welcome to Gardermoen, everybody. Welcome to Oslo. Full reverse. Fix knots, engine sliders, flaps up, V-brake retracted. A little bit of toe braking and we'll vacate to the left. There's the tower. So that's the civilian apron. So the auto brake can be turned off. So that's our PMDG 737-800 with the Norwegian Air Shuttle livery. So just arrived from Warsaw, Poland, in Oslo, Gardermoen International Airport, Norway. I think the landing was quite okay. Could have been worse. Especially just interesting to, yeah, as I said earlier, you just have to do like a shitload of landings to, you know, to develop a feel for a certain aircraft and how it behaves, how it responds to your input, you know. But so far, I think probably I think this was my best landing out of the 4 landings that I've had in my entire life with this PMDG 737-800. It looks like they could park there. It's such a shame that sometimes in Microsoft Flight Simulator these jetways are disconnected there. That's insane. I mean, you're a flight simulator and you messed that up. I don't know. So let's take this one here to the left. Four eight. Almost late. Alright. We'll stop. Parking brake. That's something scary. Right, so here we are. Welcome again to Oslo, everybody. Looks like we made it in one piece. And we reached 100 subscribers, so thank you very much for that. Here's our little 737-800. All proud, landed back at the hub. Slightly off the line there. And yeah, it was slightly short, but in one piece. Right, man, so that's it for me. Thank you again very much for checking, everybody, and especially for reaching 100 subscribers. That is very sweet. Let's go for 200 this time. Everybody just stay funky, man, and keep your loved ones close. Thank you for checking. I'll see you at the next video. Bye bye.